What could I do for you?
Well, you was with me when Zeke was killed, so in a way, you're like the only person I could trust.
So we have our first exclusive clip for Power Book 2 Go Season 3, Episode 1. And it's a conversation between Monet and Tariq St Patrick, where we see a visibly distraught Monet. She's broken and in tears. The death of Zeke is raw and fresh, because Monet only found out about Zeke's death right at the end of Season 2.
Mrs. Tejada, I'm sorry to inform you that your son, Ezekiel Cross, is dead.
This was at the end of Season 2 where we saw a very different feel with the Tejadas. There was pin drop silence, and there seemed to be tension in the air after Diana blew up Monet's secret. But it wasn't just Monet's secret that came to light after 22 years. She also blew up Kane's powdered sugar move. Kane made Lorenzo aware Drew failed to kill Ev, and Monet made it public Diana had been sleeping with Tariq St Patrick. But at the head of the table was the man with the biggest secret, and that was Lorenzo Tejada, who really did cut across a worried look, because he knew what was about to be revealed in this phone conversation between Monet and Detective Whitman. Now we're going to pick up straight from where we left off with a memorial for Zeke at Stansfield from his school and from his teammates. Present will be Drew, Kane, Lorenzo, Diana and Monet, as she's being presented with a Zeke Cross basketball jersey. But with emotions being raw and fresh, it seems like things get way too much for Monet, and she'll head off to the back where she's not comforted by Lorenzo or any of her family members. She finds herself leaning on Tariq St Patrick, and Monet is absolutely distraught. She's lost her firstborn child and her exit from the game. Throughout seasons 1 and 2, we saw how strict she was when it came to Zeke. She tried to keep the drug game and Zeke's basketball career separate, which is something she made clear to Tariq St Patrick when she agreed to do business with him. The game-changing moment came when Kane sent to bars to kill Tariq St Patrick, and from then on, Zeke got caught in the middle. But in this exclusive clip from episode 1, Monet can't help but blame herself. She says, "I'm the reason why Zeke is dead, and she should have left him in North Carolina." But I previously mentioned there are a few other characters who should take a fair share of the blame, not just Monet. Monet of course kept the secret for 22 years and sent Zeke to live with his aunt in North Carolina. And even when Diana found out, she gave Monet the opportunity to talk about it one-on-one, but Monet shut her down. She then blew up the secret at the dinner table in explosive fashion, but hidden between the writing and Mecca's chess moves was how he made it public knowledge about his real age, and that in effect ended any hopes of him entering the draft. And nothing more needs to be said about Lorenzo's role. Now of course, naturally I'm not surprised she blames herself, as any mother would. There will always be what if she did this, what if she did that. Maybe Zeke would have remained alive and away from the dangers of the game, but nobody ever knows what's around the corner with the game, and nobody's safe, especially in power. Now one thing Monet is certain of is Tariq St Patrick had nothing to do with Zeke's murder, because Tariq was with her at the time of his death, so he's the only one she can trust, which is something that dates back to season 1.
I told you I was the one you could trust the most.
But even then, Tariq still had to drill it into Monet's head that Diana went behind her back and stole the money from the bar. Kane used the powdered sugar move to get back in with the family, and Drew was still seeing Ev, so she knows that she can't trust any of her family members, which is why she'll have eyes on everybody else. And based on the synopsis and even the teasers we've seen, Monet will really stop at nothing to get revenge. And if she's able to put 2 and 2 together, she knows Lorenzo has this trait where he makes impulsive decisions based on emotion, so it's going to be intriguing when and if she does find out the truth. Now we also hear Tariq asking Monet, "What can I do for you?" And one thing he can do is help her find out the truth, which is where Davis McLean comes in. Now one of the previous teasers teases how we're going to see Monet and Davis working together, and they won't be working together just to find out who was behind Zeke's death, but also to keep herself, Kane and himself from being exposed, because they will be under heavy threat from law enforcement. But having someone like Davis on your books doesn't come cheap. They need money, and a lot of it, and this is where Nomar comes in. Where Tariq asks Monet, "What can I do for you?" Zeke isn't the only aspect. Finding a new connect and working for Nomar to pay for Davis could be another. And I really don't think Monet would have any qualms about working for someone like Tariq St Patrick. Like she said, he's the only one she can trust, and that's been proven time and time again, as we've just dissected earlier. But trusting Tariq St Patrick may not also be the wisest decision. So let's just remind ourselves when someone warned Monet about working with Tariq.
Chip off the old block, huh? If I was you, I'd be careful with this one.
Tommy Egan warned Monet, and it's true, she does need to watch Tariq, because he's also taken the fair share of the blame when it comes to the downfall of the St. Patricks, and she also knows what Tariq is capable of. If he's capable of killing his father, then he really is capable of anything. Although to be fair to Tariq, he's the only person who hasn't gone behind her back, apart from maybe sleeping with Diana, which was Diana's decision. But that's a breakdown of the first exclusive clip from Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3, Episode 1, and one which definitely sets the tone for the season. Monet only has one person who she can really trust, and that's Tariq St Patrick, so we're gonna see them working together closer than ever before. But the questions we have after this exclusive clip is, what's their next move? What does Monet and Tariq do next? I think this is where Davis McLean comes in. But drop all your thoughts and perspectives down below on the exclusive clip between Monet and Tariq St Patrick. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.